Blessed to be with you, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Phone number is 580-5436, 580-KIDO. It's a privilege and honor to talk to our great friend Larry Gebert of Channel 7. He's on the road promoting Idaho Gives. Larry, good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. And yeah, it is the single biggest day of giving to charities and nonprofits all over the state, all in one day. And the goal, $1.7 million. And right now, we're very close to $300,000 already been given. And that started at 5 o'clock this morning. So within the first 2 hours, we're already close to $300,000. And they've actually got rally points like I'm at this morning. I'm at Even Stevens in the Boise area. It's just an area to come down to just talk with people, to learn more about how all of the funds, the money that they give. But you know, with more than 600 organizations signed up for this, you can learn about them online if you want to, and that's just idahogives.org. You can also call the toll-free number and make a donation if you know your charity. If you don't, if you just want to just donate to a type of cause, they've got ones that they can tell you about that you can also make that donation, and that's just 1-877-ID gives. And Kevin, it just makes sense to do something like this on a day like this, to just gather as much money as possible that's going to be used throughout the entire year to make a difference in all of our lives.
It's about making a difference, and Larry Gebert sure makes a difference each and every day on Channel 7 and for all the charitable work he does on and off the air. Okay, so this is a fly-by-the-seat-of-your-pants operation on our end, Larry. How long do we have you before you have to do the weather?
I still got a few more minutes that we can talk a little bit.
Okay.
But, I might tell you that what we're doing here this morning is highlighting just a few ones that you may not have ever heard of. One of the ones we just talked to would be the Idaho Urban Search and Rescue Foundation, and that's a nonprofit arm that works with the rescue crews like firefighters, paramedics, and things like that. But they do it in an urban setting. So, you'll hear a story about how a trench collapsed while workers were working on it and they had to be rescued. They've got specialized people, specialized equipment. They work with some of these other rescue groups. In other words, the firefighters have already got some training to give them specialized training in urban search and rescue, which is different. If a building collapses, wouldn't it be nice to know that somebody's out there with the knowledge and the equipment and the training to be able to come and get you out of those circumstances? Someday, God forbid that would ever happen.
Right.
But wouldn't it be nice to know that you made a donation to make sure it will happen?
That's why he's Larry Legend, Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. He's still on message when I'm trying to get him to be touchy-feely. But,
okay.
You and again, we all get uncomfortable when people talk about ourselves, but to me, you are a role model, Larry. You touch so many lives. How have people touched you, and how special is it to be in the field profiling these folks? Not talking about you, Larry, but the good works that you profile.
Well, honestly, I have actually been in situations, to help show some of this in the past. We've done things, like some of the confined space rescue. I've done some of that. I found out how claustrophobic I actually am when I did that. But you know what? Even though I am that way, and I got down into one of these confined spaces, and I really truly got stuck. They were there to help me calm down and to help. Did work with them to get myself back out again, and they did it on purpose. But so in terms of touchy-feely, that's just one example. But there's other organizations too that are making a difference. And like I say, there's so many different ones, and all the different ones they do it. So to me, I feel honored to be able to bring their message to people. There's only so much time. There's only so many days. I can't talk about everybody. But it's something that, that I honestly feel honored to do that. I really do. Look at you, Kevin. You're a great example, too. Look at all the stuff you do with the rescue mission. You've done with dog shelters, the different things you've done, that you've sacrificed, yourself into these elements in order to bring the message of these organizations that are making such a difference.
Yeah, but I'm not water skiing on New Year's Day.
Well, no, but you could. You could always jump in. You were out there. I told you if you wanted to. You were out there with me. We talked about it. I said, Kevin, you got your shorts on. You could jump in. You go, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not as committed. But Larry, what motivates these people to help?
What motivates them, the people who are part of these nonprofit organizations?
Yes, sir.
Is because they see a need. That's what motivates them. Same thing that would motivate you and I. You see a need. You see what's going on. You know that there's something there, and you know that maybe you've got the skills, maybe you've got the ability, maybe you've just got the time to make a difference so that you can actually help get those people something that they can do. I mean, it doesn't matter. It could be just as simple as donating to the Idaho Food Bank. You know what I mean? You make a donation. That's a statewide organization serving over 400 different pantries. I know I'm staying on task here again, but it's still just a donation there reaches out and feeds people. You know, you in school you took classes that talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. I mean, it's pretty hard to to think about anything, even studying in school if you haven't had breakfast.
Yeah.
You know, you have to have sleep, you have to have food. It's the basic things about being a human being that once you have that, then you can go on from there to make yourself better. But you have to have that foundation. You have to have that start.
And you're going to have to tell me when it's time to go.
Yeah, I will, because I think we're, but we're okay for a second. I'll let you know.
Okay, so not only today during the morning, but throughout the day, Idaho Gives, right, Larry?
It is. It goes on until midnight tonight. You know, and as I say, I mentioned the website. I mentioned the phone numbers. So, I'll tell you that again. It's idahogives.org. It's very simple. The phone number is 877-ID-GIVES. And just spell out those letters, with the numbers on your phone, and you'll be connected to a volunteer that'll give you that. You might get put on hold because they're busy. You might have to call back, but do that. But call that. And it's as simple as a $10 donation can make a huge difference.
Well, you make a difference every day, Brother Gebert.
Well, thank you, sir, and we appreciate your good work as well.
Thank you, Larry. You have a great day. Love watching you this morning.
All right. Well, thank you, Kevin. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Our great friend Larry Gebert joining us. Channel 7, Profiling Idaho Gives. And what a wonderful community that we live in there, where we have great media partners like Channel 7 and others who are donating their time, their effort, their resources to promote nonprofits. You don't see that in other places, I don't believe. Maybe you've been somewhere and Billy, Timmy, and Willie do, but not to the extent. So Idaho Gives. And we're going to do something a little different here at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. Many years ago, I had a young man who trained the great Sean Hannity. He trained me. And it was over 20 years ago, and he said, you never do open lines. Open lines are the lazy man's talk show. Not to get too inside on it. But if you have a nonprofit, if you're associated with someone, whether it's St. Vincent de Paul, whether it's the Meridian Food Bank, whether it's the West Valley Humane Society, whether it's the Meridian Canine Rescue, whether it's our friends at the Boise Rescue Mission, and you would like to promote them this hour, talking about Idaho Gives, you can join us now at 580-5436, 580-KIDO. And on a similar note, Miller's Mission, we're making our announcement Monday. It's leaking out a little, but we'll make our big announcement Monday concerning the theme of the spring campaign to help the Boise Rescue Mission. And speaking of which, before we get rolling here, one of the major topics we're talking about, yesterday's hearing concerning William Barr and how he was disrespected at the Senate.
Do you think it's okay for the president to ask his White House counsel to lie? Look, if you're just going to go back to whether or not it's a crime, you're telling me that it's okay. Let me ask you the last question that I have in 17 seconds. Do you think it's okay for a president to offer pardons to people who don't testify against him, to threaten the family of someone who does? Is that okay?
When did he offer a pardon to someone?
I think you know what I'm talking about. Please.
What do you mean,
please, Mr. Attorney General, give us some credit for knowing what the hell is going on around here with you.
Not really. To this line of questioning.
So
listen, you've slandered this man.
Yeah, what I sort of want to know is how do we get to this point?
I do not think that I'm slandering anyone.
All I can say,
Mr. Chairman, I am done. Thank you very much.
And by the way, if you check out the newest edition of Christian Living magazine, you'll get a clue of what we're doing with the Boise Rescue Mission. But at 580-5436, 580-KIDO, this is Idaho Gives Day. We are taking your calls, promoting your favorite nonprofit. We're going to talk about the regular topics. By the way, tomorrow we're at Compass Public Charter School, thanks to CapEd Credit Union and Team Mazda Subaru. But before that, why not be a part of the community? Melinda in Nampa with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Melinda. Hello, Melinda.
Good morning.
Hi. Hi, good morning.
How's it going?
Okay, how are you?
It's a beautiful day, just sitting on the freeway trying to make progress to Boise.
I'm so sorry. You know, that could be a new nonprofit, figuring out the transportation system.
Good idea. They're working on it. But, you know, it's a beautiful day, so we can all be thankful.
Yes, ma'am. What can we do for you?
I'm just calling in to talk about the mentoring network. 1 hour, once a week, changes lives for students. It's a student-based mentoring network program in Canyon County and Homedale that's been around for 20 years. And Donna Shines is the executive director. She does a great job. It's all volunteer. It's a school-based program. It's amazing.
And that's part of Idaho Gives?
It is.
Can people donate so they can go to Idaho Gives? And Melinda, one more time, the name of the group and what they do, please.
Mentoring Network from Canyon and Owyhee counties, mentoring students 1 hour, once a week, changes lives. Donna Shines is the executive director. It's a great program.
Well, we appreciate it, and we hope you get to work someday.
No problem. I'll be there soon.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a great day.
You too.
Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Let's join the conversation. We'd love to hear from you. 580-5436. 580-KIDO.
Did you personally review all of the underlying evidence?
No, we took and accepted.
We accepted Mr. Rosenstein?
No, we accepted the statements in the report as the factual record. We did not go underneath it to see whether or not they were accurate. We accepted it as accurate. And
accepted the report as the evidence?
Yes.
You did not question or look at the underlying evidence that supports the conclusions in the report?
No.
Did Mr. Rosenstein review the evidence that underlines and supports the conclusions in the report, to your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge. We accepted the statements in the report.
Did
and
anyone
the characterization of the evidence is true.
So much for that audition. Senator Harris trying to prove herself presidential. Back to your phone calls. By the way, it's Idaho Gives Day. If you have a favorite nonprofit that you'd like to promote, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. We go to a svelte young man from Garden City. His name is Max on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, sir.
That's our word for today, svelte.
Ooh.
Well, you brought it in.
I did.
How are you doing, my equally svelte friend?
I'm a fatty.
Well, I'm a bit of a fatty, too. You met me.
You're svelte. You're losing weight. You're selling out, so congratulations.
I am a sellout. I'm down another 12 pounds.
Congratulations.
My peak at 325, I'm a svelte 238.
Ooh, awesome.
Working on it, baby. You know, work on it.
Sure.
I was listening to those interviews myself, and, you know, it's insane because these elected officials, there is so much hubris. They are so proud of themselves. They are dripping with it. That's another word for today, hubris, Hubris.
One of my
favorites. It makes you crazy. They're not even asking questions. They're posing hypotheticals and asking him to rummage around in his brain for an answer that isn't even germane to the question. I thought Barr held himself up very well. And to echo President Trump, I'm very, very proud of Mr. Barr. Don't you find that it's never questions, it's always an inquisition? Anytime anybody related to Trump gets up in front of the Senate or the Congress, it's an inquisition. It never used to be that way. Even under Nixon, even under Clinton. It was never that way.
Yeah.
Well,
those were the good old days of Nixon.
Oh, I remember them well.
He was a good boy.
But I'm a little bit older than you, not too much, about 10 years.
Well, 10 years is as good as 20 these days.
Pardon?
Exactly.
Well, let me wrap it up by saying this. If you're listening to Kevin Miller, you got the straight scoop. If you listen to those other punks, God knows what you're going to get. Okay?
Peace, love, and harmony, the things we do for love. Thank you, Max.
All right, buddy.
Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Let's get you to work safely and on time. Good morning, Dave. Back to your phone calls with Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Patriot Ray joins us now. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Kevin. So as I listened to these so-called hearings, all I heard was hate and vitriol from the Democratic side. Even when they were presented with facts, they wouldn't listen. They just kept going on with their narrative. All they know how to do, evil people lose control of themselves and can't do anything but scream and holler, and they have no facts for themselves, so they make up things. They call them liars. They say they've heard him lie so many times. Barr has been very truthful. He's come forward. He released a lot more than even they anticipated, but yet that still wasn't enough. He only redacted about, I think he said 0.1% of all of the paperwork there. So, what else do they want? And then I understand that they can actually go into a private room and read the whole unredacted papers. So what is their narrative to really get things done? Is to scream and to holler and to make accusations that are unfounded. And I believe that the American people are beginning to wake up. When the devil, he sweet talks you in the beginning, but if you don't really fall for him, then he starts putting the pressure on and starts enticing in other ways and even getting so angry that he can't control himself. So we're seeing that with this Democratic side. And like I say, they were presented with facts about Hillary. Oh, well, we don't want to go there. We can't go there. You're always trying to bring that up. Well, yes, because there is collusion there, and we have the facts for it, not just innuendos about what. I don't understand what the big deal is. The American people need to wake up and tell these Democrats and some of the Republicans, to be honest, that they need to really look at the facts and quit trying to bring up their own lies about things. So, Kevin, your thoughts on all of this is surely appreciated, because you do have the right thinking mind as you go forward, and that's one of the reasons we love KIDO. It's get our word out, and we get to hear the truth and not these lies that the normal media makes up. And they keep pushing the narrative, even when they have the facts. So I guess that's what bothers me. They won't listen to anything that's factual. They start getting angry if you bring facts up, in fact.
Well,
So,
it's all about
stay
fake
fired up.
news. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, the fake news is always for it. But you have a great day. God bless you, and hope to see you out at your mission there when you go. So we're going to see you at your Garrity.
Yes, sir.
So-
Thank you, Patriot Ray.
Have a great one. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye. 580-5436. 580-KIDO. Got a little contentious yesterday. Let's take a listen.
Four of the specific obstruction episodes, Robert Mueller concluded that there was substantial evidence on the three necessary elements of obstruction.
Well, you're a prosecutor.
I have to finish my question.
Okay. Well, you haven't let me finish my answer.
Well, let me just finish the
We
question.
can do both.
All right, good.
You ignored in that press conference and in the summary that Robert Mueller found substantial evidence, and it's in the report.
There we have it. Your reaction next. Russell in Meridian with Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Russell.
Yes, thank you, Kevin. Addressing the homosexuality of Pete Buttigieg and his husband is a subject probably that most people wouldn't want to broach, especially on the radio or publicly, because we've been trained to accept homosexuality as not only normal, but the new progressive righteousness of America. And if he becomes the Democratic nominee, it really will be a choice at that point between the complete destruction of Christian America or the rise of this progressive righteousness. it's clear that he went for that subject matter immediately by attacking Mike Pence. And he will continue to do that because that is the brainwashing that we've incurred in these decades of anti-Christian hatred. And so we're going to see if he gets the Democratic nomination that he's going to continually attack the foundations of our country and Christianity to the point where he would eliminate any influence of American Christians by declaring this new righteous progressiveness of, transgender evangelism and homosexual marriage and all of these things, while saying all the time that God is greatly pleased with him. So it behooves all of Americans today, especially those who are deeply intimate with the Heavenly Father, to speak up and to begin to have courage to put everything on the line like they did in the beginning with the Founding Fathers, when they could have been arrested by the British, they could have been tried for treason. I mean, for me to speak up and say, there's no way that Buttigieg can be a Christian at all, and I believe that, is to put Russell from Meridian, his life, his family, his fortune on the line. And this is the essence of where we're at in the spiritual warfare in America. And so I just want to encourage others, if the Lord is calling them, to begin to speak up in the public square. Newt Gingrich has put forth that video. I just got a letter yesterday to restore God and the foundations of God in the United States. And I think that's what this whole 2020 election is going to be about, whether we go for progressive, secular, humanist, dark righteousness, or the old and tried, centuries-old righteousness of Jesus Christ. So,
Russell, thank you for the call. God bless. You're listening to Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Good morning, Maggie. More of your phone calls promoting Idaho Gives, plus your thoughts on the city of Boise becoming a certified welcoming city, not just a welcoming city, but a certified welcoming city. That sounds very exciting. Not as exciting as this little buddy.
He was very clear with me that he was not suggesting that we had misrepresented his report.
There we have it. William Barr talking about Bobby Mueller.
And I called Bob, and he said the press reporting had been inaccurate.
Sounded a little snippy or snide with insight analysis. And everyone's All-American from Fox News Radio, exclusively on KIDO Talk Radio. Rachel Sutherland, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Kevin.
I got to give William Barr this. He had a lot of sarcasm, and I think if you look up the definition of the word dry in the dictionary, it would be his picture.
Right. He did appear pretty unflappable. I guess I would describe it as kind of a two-ring circus yesterday, in that you had Republicans with one line of questioning about the origins of the Russia probe, and I think one headline that came out of that is that Barr said he would look to see if the Steele dossier was part of the Russian disinformation campaign. Democrats really zeroing in on obstruction of justice and why Barr chose not to pursue that. Also, that letter from Robert Mueller to Barr saying that his summary mischaracterized or didn't capture the context of his entire body of work. And so I think one of the most stunning moments was actually there toward the end with Democrat Richard Blumenthal asking him about the letter, and Barr volunteering the fact that he had had a phone call with Robert Mueller, that he was on speakerphone, there are people in the room. Blumenthal asked, can we have copies of the notes of that phone call? And Barr just said flat out no.
I know, that was a great moment. That was a great moment.
Yeah, and he followed up by saying, I don't see the reason why you would have a reason to have this. And then the hearing was adjourned. But look, both sides were definitely pointed with their questions, but they were very different. And Barr, really defending his handling of the Mueller report, even as Democrats right now, Kevin, just a few minutes ago, Barr was supposed to be at the House Judiciary Committee, but he was a no-show. There's an empty chair there, and it only lasted about 15 minutes and consisted of Jerry Nadler, the chair, and the ranking member, Collins, just going back and forth at one another, and then they just threw up their hands and left. And now Nadler is threatening to subpoena William Barr and hold him in contempt of Congress if he doesn't produce the unredacted Mueller report with the underlying evidence within a couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, haven't they done that before with Eric Holder, number one? But, Rachel, you're going to love this one. I think we can sum up the Barr testimony, in my opinion, is William Barr telling Congress, you're not the boss of me.
Yeah, pretty much. But, I mean, I don't know. When it comes to subpoenas, the White House can resist a subpoena or two or three, but ultimately that could land in court. So we'll have to see how it all plays out. But, yeah, I mean, at this point, it looks like Nadler's ready to take the legal action, but it'll be up to the White House to see how they respond.
Indeed. Like I said, I love this where William Barr is talking about the thing. And, you know, Bob, kind of a little snippy, a little snide there, Bob. And I think it was one of his assistants that did it. And I love it. As you just said, Rachel, Blumenthal, can we see it? Nope. When's the last time we ever had anything like that in Congress?
Well, you know, these hearings are oftentimes contentious, but I mean, it's going to be a contentious hearing when the chairman, in this case Lindsey Graham, dropped the F-bomb in his opening statement. So it just went from there.
Rachel, thank you, ma'am.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, let's go to Diana in Meridian talking about Idaho Gives Day and a very special nonprofit close to her heart. Good morning.
Good morning, Kevin. Yep, I'm calling on behalf of St. Vincent de Paul. This year for Idaho Gives, we are dedicating our funds to our reentry services, which is people that are coming out of prison. We're trying to create an environment and a path of success to avoid re-offending and putting them back in a spot where they becomes more of a struggle for them to get out of. So St. Vincent de Paul really works hard to try to make sure that we prevent homelessness and make the path of success for those coming out of prison. So it's a very exciting time. We hope that the community helps to respond. You can quickly go on to our website at www.sppid.org and hear about not only our reentry services, but our very special upcoming event that we're promoting for Tapas for a Cause. So love to have everybody be a part of a great organization.
Well, we love St. Vincent de Paul. Now, here's the big question. You have to be a Catholic to get the funds or to be a part of it?
Oh, heavens no. St. Vincent de Paul does have origins of the Catholic faith, but we don't look at anybody, whether or not they are Catholic or not. We provide services to anybody that needs assistance. We have a prescription assistance program. We have a reentry services program. We have lots of food pantries and outreach services. We help people regardless of where they're coming from. We don't ask those questions. Our goal is to provide services and help people in need. In fact, a lot of your donations for even our thrift stores are used to help people that are struggling with clothing or even beds. So it's a very good process of outreach services, regardless of faith, regardless of any kind of breed. So we just want to help everybody.
Diana, one more time, St. Vincent de Paul for Idaho Gives, and I know it's June 21st, your big event at Jump.
Yeah, very big event. But yes, go to our website at sppid.org, and you'll be able to see all the information about not only our big events at Tapas, but you can also buy one of those special raffle tickets for the 2019 Subaru Forester, and read more about our reentry services and food pantry services that we provide.
Well, Diana, thank you for listening and your great work that you do for St. Vincent de Paul's and making a difference. Take care.
Thank you, Kevin. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye. We're going to go to Tess in Boise with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Hello. Hi-de-ho, Tess.
Hi-de-ho, man. Isn't it a great day? Hey, I would just like to offer up a couple of things. In 40-plus years, I've worked with lots of nonprofits and a lot of people who actually are not nonprofits, just regular organizations out there doing different things. And something that's always beneficial and that I always do, I don't necessarily just go and do a Google search or look at Facebook. I might breeze by those, but there are two places that I go. I go to the Idaho Repository, which is where you look at civil and criminal records. And the second place that I go, it's called Foundation 990. It's Foundation 990 and the Idaho Repository. Now, those two sites are going to give you a bunch of information. But when you go to Foundation 990, you are going to type in the name of that organization, where they're located, as much information as you can. And if they're nonprofit and they're actually filing, they're going to have their records there. They're placed on that site. And you can review and evaluate those. You can look and see, ignore the mission statement. Look to see if these people have been in lawsuits, especially if they're environmental or conservation groups, because they're about taking your money to make money through lawsuits for themselves. Animal welfare issues, be cautious of a lot of these different things. Look and see how much those people are paying their board members, how much they're paying themselves. So look for the red lights. And if you're working for one of these organizations, investigate them yourself also. But be sure and call in, today and give good ones a thumbs up.
Tess, we appreciate that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Thank you for listening to KIDO Talk Radio. Coming up next, well, Jerry Nadler's mad and Boise welcomes everyone. Legal and illegal? I'll explain next. Kevin Miller, KIDO Talk Radio.
He's an outstanding man. He's an outstanding legal mind, and I heard he performed incredibly well today.
In terms of the request to ask McGahn to memorialize that fact, we do not think in this case that the government could show corrupt intent beyond a reasonable doubt.
You used every advantage of your office to create the impression that the president was cleared of misconduct. You selectively quoted fragments from the special counsel's report, taking some of the most important statements out of context and ignoring the rest.
Given how dishonesty has been since March 24th at the earliest, since March 24th at the latest, I can understand why he is afraid of facing more effective examination.
Saying that, well, in spite of all the work, we're going to indict them anyway, and if we can't indict them, then we're going to impugn your integrity and call you a liar. I find that behavior on this committee despicable.
They should all be ashamed of themselves, the devious little liberals, that senator has a point, has a great point. You can't disagree with the facts, so you attack someone personally, you slander them. You heard Senator Hirono and others, Kamala Harris, Cory Booker, doing their best to audition to be the next president of the United States. President Trump had this to say concerning William Barr's performance.
I haven't even heard that. I mean, it's so ridiculous. He's an outstanding man. He's an outstanding legal mind, and I heard he performed incredibly well.
He did. And finally, President Trump talking about no obstruction.
Well, I guess they want to treat him differently than they have anybody else. And for many, many years, they've never done it this way, where they're bringing in outside counsel or something. And that's not the way, you elect people, they're supposed to be able to do their own talking. But he did a fantastic job today, I'm told. I got to see some of it. He did a fantastic job. And it's all a big hoax, this whole thing with Russia. It turned out there is no collusion. There is no obstruction.
Earlier I was sharing with you my adventures on social media, talking to a former broadcast executive, a very skilled and accomplished young man. He's retired now, and I basically said, look, there's no collusion, it's delusion, and I posted that on his Facebook page. Oh, obstruction. If there's no crime, there's no obstruction. But that didn't stop the crazy, wacky, zany libs from hurling profanities at me, and I'm thinking to myself, aren't we supposed to have public discourse? No, not really. That's why that's why I'm so paranoid about this program. Because this program makes a difference. This program, because of you, your voice is echoed throughout the Treasure Valley. It's echoed on the KIDO Talk Radio app. It's echoed throughout the stream. It's echoed not on one, but two radio stations. And it's not just about, hey, this, that, and this. It's about issues and people that make a difference. Now, again, we still have some time in this hour if you want to promote your favorite nonprofit. 580-5436, 580-KIDO, KIDO Talk Radio, The Kevin Miller Show, partnering with our friends at Idaho Gives. Truly, as Larry Gebert said earlier, what is it, $1.6, $1.7 million is the goal already, $300,000 raised, and it's not even 8 o'clock? That's amazing. Traffic and weather together, KIDO Talk Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Good morning, Dave. Kevin Miller in the morning, KIDO Talk Radio. Talking about a few issues that matter to you, 580-5436, 580-KIDO. So there's no surprise here. Mayor Beater anxious to be reelected. Mayor Beater, by the way, if you're new, is the mayor of the city of Boise. His family has done a lot of charitable nonprofit work throughout the Treasure Valley for years. Very established within the community. Everybody knows the Beaters. Dave Beater, a very astute politician, but he's a progressive. He's a liberal. He's taken over the city of Boise. And there's no surprise here that we want the certification, or he does, as a welcoming city. So if you say, man, are we vetting people that are coming into this country, sir? How dare you? You are not welcome. You're not a welcoming person. Well, no, I'm just questioning the people that are coming in. Are they coming in legally? That's enough out of you. And the people that are coming in, the refugees, are they getting government funding and free education and free health care and free housing that average, ordinary, tax-paying Americans don't? That's enough of you. That's an extremist comment. How dare you? And by the way, he's got the media. He's done an excellent job of neutering the media. You know, you take a look at the mayor. Who else would dare criticize his Be Kind campaign? Can you imagine any other city where, by the way, in Idaho, we're the nicest people around, right? Where you would pay a PR firm, publicity firm, $80,000 a year? That's a lot of money. Or is it $6,000 a month? I don't know. It's something like that. Numbers are overrated. It's like $80,000 a year to tell people to be kind. And then you have people that slurp up the Kool-Aid and go, yeah, you know something? We need that more than ever, because those Idahoans, they're a rambunctious crew. Most people find that highly insulting. So Mayor Beater getting ready to sum up his leftist base, talking about being a welcoming city, that they're excited about being a welcoming city, to being certified. I think, again, Chicago is a welcoming city. Does that mean, I think it does, that we want to emulate the shenanigans of Chicago? You take your life into your own hands when you go into Chicago. I don't think that the police here want that to those type of issues and problems. And thankfully, we have the courage and the freedom to express our thoughts, even though it drives the crazy, wacky, zany liberals insane. Mayor Beater. This designation reflects our long-standing work to help immigrants and refugees become true members of our community and welcome neighbors. Welcome home, neighbor. Sure. But at what cost? And what is happening? Of course, nobody dares say that because you'll be called wacky extremist names. Boise has been a place of refuge and opportunity for refugees and immigrants since its founding, and there is no question we are richer as a community as a result. I would say we're poor because of the government fundings. Look, America is a welcoming country, but you have people that really know, appreciate, and love America. They come in and they work 2, 3, 4 jobs. That's not easy to do. It's easy to say, but it's not so easy to do when you're tired and you have to go to work, and then you have to get up the next day because of the taxes, because of the government regulation, because of these pet peccadillo projects of the progressive mayor of Boise. Man, I got through that without a stutter or stumble. We're rolling on the wire, the right side. Kevin Miller in the morning, your home for Fox News Radio, 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Good morning.